And what's going on? What's popping? What's happening? This is the company. We are live on this Thursday at 9:14 p.m., the day of our Lord. I hope everybody's doing well. It is the 6th of March, heading on into the mid part of this month that just started already. Time is just a swinging and swinging on by.
It's gonna be Christmas next week.
It probably is going to be time to get ready for the holidays soon. So I hope everybody's having an amazing week, an amazing day. I hope everything's going well for you. We are the company. I am B. Lenny. This is Rich. That is Nick. And Mobile will be joining us soon. He is pretty busy at this moment, so he'll be joining us soon. And when he does, we'll get him on in here too. But like I said, I hope everybody's having an amazing week here, and everything's going well for you. Now, there are some things going on that we did want to talk about. I'm trying to get this thing straight on TikTok. There we go. Yeah, so hope everybody's having a good time. There are some few things that we wanted to talk about tonight. Unfortunately, I have not seen Captain America yet, so we cannot cover the movie. And I know my colleagues are getting a little upset with me about the whole thing, but I am going to see it eventually. It just had not happened yet.
This make a wait for Disney Plus.
What?
Brian, wait to see it on Disney Plus.
Yep, I'll wait for the streaming. I think it's never leaving the theater. Does that still happen? Like movies are so popular, they stay in the theater longer now.
Man,
or is it
the only time
automatic after 45 days?
It kind of is, but Top Gun Maverick was like the most recent example of a movie staying in the theater forever.
Mm-hmm.
Like that movie. Let's see. When did it come out? Was it May? It came out in May, and I know I saw it in September.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, that was a while, but that was a while after too.
Well, you know what? I'll say this too, though. We dealing with Disney. Disney, they will let something stretch out as long as they can before they put it on Disney Plus.
They're not doing it quite as much as they used to. I mean, now don't get me wrong. I think this movie is probably gonna sit. We're in March. It'll probably stay around till like April. Because there's nothing really that's coming out that theaters are going to be like, we need to take your screens, right?
Were you able to order the Steelbook for it already?
Not yet, because I haven't seen anything come out about it yet.
Steelbook for what?
Captain America.
Do they start selling them this early like that?
Pretty much. Yeah, like 2 weeks
Deadpool
after the movie comes out.
Deadpool Wolverine, I got it. That's the only time I ever bought Steelbook, but it was relatively soon afterwards, I guess.
Like 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. Because I mean, all this stuff has already been finalized. Like they've already done the artwork, and which is terrible though is that movies don't really have like special features on the disc anymore. Like used to have like the extra additional commentary and like the behind the scenes stuff. You have better behind the scenes coverage of movies on YouTube than you have when you buy the actual film. Now
I would agree. Yeah. There's some exceptions, but I agree. Even like deleted scenes too. You used to get like a bunch of deleted scenes. Now you might get 3.
Yeah, right. It's like y'all can fit more of this on this disc. Like they're like y'all are just y'all are playing with us. So
without all that extra stuff, then what's the point of buying a physical copy? Just to have it?
You own it. That's it. That's the only reason why. Because you know how like we've talked about this once or twice before. Like there are some times where they do good things with edits, right? Like when Chadwick Boseman passed away on Disney Plus or any of the re-releases that after his death, they made the Marvel logo when it's just Black Panther, right?
Yep.
Like it's just scenes from the movie. Now, on And, of course, if you've bought the movie prior to that, you don't get that update, right? Or that change. But but the version of the movie that you get is the version of the movie that you keep. Now, what was it? What year? What was that? It's a couple years back, but Netflix got Back to the Future on it. And the scene where Marty is in the high school in Back to the Future 2, and he opens up the almanac and find out it's like a pinup magazine.
Mm-hmm.
They blurred it out
on Netflix.
So yeah, and like they got so many complaints about it that they actually had to go back and re-edit it to the normal version of it.
They
so
got
like
complaints
stuff
that it was edited.
Yeah. So and that's the thing, is that I'm not saying like, but if you think about it, like there's certain movies that are products of their time in the truest sense of the word, and there's certain things that people said or did in those movies that was socially acceptable then, but probably wouldn't be now.
Yeah,
and
right.
one of those
every movie in the 80s and the early 90s.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So like exactly. So what you don't want to happen is if you own those films, you have the the unaltered version of that film. If you have it online somewhere, or like a digital copy of it, likely if they want to make a change or edit something or change something for language purposes, then that's where it is.
Yeah.
It's all George Lucas' fault at the end.
Why is it his fault? He was the one that started it?
He George Lucas, he changed around like the entire, like the original trilogy, like those movies. We will never see the original versions of those movies ever again until after he passes away.
Yeah,
like that'll be Disney is probably somewhere contractually when he sold Star Wars was like, the one condition I have is that you will never release the original versions of these films, and I promise you, Disney will not. I guarantee you, they are sitting on a remastered version of the original trilogy, and they were just waiting for him to go.
Did he say why he didn't want that? I missed.
It's just creative vision. Like I get it.
Okay.
Like as an artist, I get it, because he's like, no, I don't want y'all touching this, because this is, to me, this is the perfect version of the movie, and it's his right, But I guarantee you, they already have a remastered version of that movie, and they're gonna wait until the body gets cold, and then be like, "Yeah, we're gonna put this out.
We're gonna release it in honor of George Lucas. We're gonna release
And you know what? I'm going to buy it. I will absolutely buy it. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. Like, I'll absolutely buy it as long as it is a remastered version of the original movie. Yes, I will absolutely buy it again. Like I think Star Wars is probably the movie that I have bought more times than any other movie that I own.
Okay.
Back to the Future might be second. Might be second. And it's only because it's like you go VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, 4K Blu-ray.
Yeah.
So
they just keep making them better.
Right.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you buy a movie, like if they do like a 4K remaster of a movie, especially stuff that came out in the early 2000s, it's a waste of your time. Don't do it, because all of those graphics and effects that are in the background, like for example, think about I Am Legend, right?
Yeah.
All those backgrounds and effects are rendered at 1080p.
Yeah, they don't look good when you stop fucking around with them.
Yeah, if you do an HD remaster, or not HD, but like a 4K remaster of it, the only way they'll be able to do it is if they go back in and re-render the entire movie again with those same shots and recomposite it. That's the only way.
That's not happening.
No, nope. Star Wars, it might. Like they might do it for Star Wars, but that's about it.
I guess. All right, so you did have something on the show sheet here, Rich, and I want you to explain what you mean, and then we can get down deep into it. The title of it is, what does it mean to do something in this climate?
So one of the things that, we keep talking about these boycotts, and we refer to, social unrest, and then exercising your right to make a change with things, right? And then you have those of us who are making commentary on said things, but then you're not but then you hear people say, like, though, especially like some of the leaders of these movements, what they'll then say is like, oh, well, if you ain't saying nothing, if you ain't doing nothing, shut up, or do something, right?
Yeah.
But what does do something actually mean? Because I think there are varying levels of what doing something, because to one person, calling a congressman or their representative is doing something, right? To another person, like, you just made a phone call. That ain't shit.
Yeah. There's always going to be somebody on the other end of your action to say that it's not enough. That's just human nature.
So I guess I'm opening the conversation of the door, and that is like, what in this specific space in time, what do you think do something means?
Good question. Well, I tell you what, let's use an example right now that we kind of talked about previously. What do you think about the Target fast boycott for 40 days?
Now the 40-day one, not the one that we did for a day, but
the Target fast. The 40 days,
the 40-day fast.
Are there guidelines for that? Let me look while y'all talking about that.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
don't buy nothing for Target. Just don't buy anything for Target for 40 days.
40 days.
That's pretty easy.
So how would you equate that as far as doing something to what do you think about that?
That is a thing. It's a thing someone's doing, right? Like, you look at it from the standpoint of what is the strategic objective? What are you trying to accomplish here? And what's the pastor's name? Is it
Bryant?
Jamal Bryant? Yeah. So
without killing the messenger, because
yes. So the thing about it is that he created a plan, has a target, has a strategy, has an objective, and then he's trying to follow. Yeah. And then he's trying to follow through with it.
I respect that. I mean, I don't get it. Not to say who it is. Unlike that one day thing, there is, like you said, there's a what, there's a how, there's a why, and there's a legitimate end game as far as trying to make a stand against one person. They said if this works, they could evolve it at other companies, but it's not like it's just a blanket. We're going to just boycott for one day. There's a goal in mind with this. Like I said, that one day thing. Let's think it from the business standpoint. If you want to boycott me for one day, okay, it's not even like a holiday or nothing like that. we get past that. We get past one day, but for 40 days.
Yeah, that's why I said it has to be something to put you in an uncomfortable position.
Right.
That will do that.
Yeah. Now,
again, another country. Again, it's all folks at one particular target. Again,
no pun intended.
Yeah.
Is that organizers of the Target Fast urge people who take part to stop shopping at Target and instead redirect their dollars to Black-owned businesses. TargetFast.org lists the demands of boycotters, which include Target completely restoring its commitments to DEI and honoring a previous pledge to spend over $2 billion with Black-owned businesses by the end of 2025. So,
and even in that statement, right? When you look at, like I said, spend $2 billion, right, with those certain businesses, right? In what capacity? Does it mean just putting stuff on the shelves? Does it mean like, for your catering efforts at board meetings? Does that factor into all of this?
Yeah.
Like, what exactly does that $2 billion really mean? And I'm sure most of it is, of course, going to be product, right? But
yeah.
But go ahead.
No. I'm listening.
Yeah. I mean, I can't knock it. I mean, because that's that's what effectively we asked for. Now, here's the thing: it is time bound. So, of course, after 40 days, if nothing changes, then what do you do then?
You adapt and you modify it. But
I think that's probably what's going to wind up happening. Is like you're gonna have to keep going because the Montgomery bus boycott was like 380 days. 380 days plus.
At least this here, though, as we've been kind of elaborate on, this structure with this, there is some type of foundation, and this is able to get some type of unity going with this. This again, not just this is one day. It's just a blanket thing without no real strategy or a method behind it. There's something here with that, and you talk about then as far as to do something. I'm thinking about that too. It's not without kind of copping out. It's still kind of subjective. You can only do so much to what's within your means without obviously,
putting yourself out
to some degree. I not necessarily yourself, but let's just say you got family. Sometimes so much what you can do can vary with somebody else that has other means and can or
the responsibilities and shit.
Yeah, you still. So I don't want to. I wouldn't want to judge someone on if someone is what they can do is in good faith and you're legit doing what you can to help the cause. I would never want to judge someone by that just because somebody has more means or doesn't have the responsibilities and they can do more. That shouldn't downput somebody else.
Yeah. So what does it mean to you, Rich, doing something?
You know what? So like I asked the question, I had to think about it, right? So for me, doing something is, Nick pretty much put it, in the way that I would see it. It's more of you are moving, whatever your cause is that you are behind, regardless of like how small, big, or whatever the case would be, if you're taking an action to rectifying it, that's doing something. Now, of course, impact is another thing, right? Because to the example that we just gave, one day is not good. Like you have to kind of manage your expectations, right? Like my rep here, not rep, the senator here, for this side of the state, if you will, Tom Tillis, right? I have written him twice, and and more so not from a like political side, but it's like, like, do you see this crazy stuff that that Elon Musk is doing? Like, I'm not saying like to say that there is no there are efficiencies that can be found in government. That's something that can absolutely be found and proven, and you could find ways to cut out waste. But this man, in the truest sense of the word, is taking like a chainsaw and cutting everything down without any sort of regard for what needs to be done or what services that they impact. So that is like a step or an acknowledgement of doing something. Now, does that translate into like, all right, you've heard what I said. Do I think he probably read that message? Absolutely not. But now you're getting into where, all right, so you kind of, there is a there's escalation too, right? Like that in the example that we gave, it's like, okay, we had one day. Now we're going to try to hit target for 40. Let's see where it goes. Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's the same kind of thing because, sometimes there's, when you look at the landscape of things, right, and you just kind of wonder, like, you are one person in, among millions, right, and you want to have some sort of impact, but you don't know where to start, or you don't know how to do it, or where to go.
There's no real guidelines on how to make change. Just
right.
Most of it is feeling around in the dark.
And I think that's part of it, is that we don't know what we can and cannot do, and what coalitions are available, and how to effectively talk to people that can make some of these changes and have some real impact.
Yeah.
So I mean, some of the things that because I'll be honest with you, like once Target announced they basically recanted on their giving towards Black businesses, I went ahead and stopped shopping at Target, just to be honest with you. I didn't do like this. I didn't make any formal post about it or anything. That just like, oh, okay, that's how you gonna do? Cool. I'll go where I am celebrated instead of tolerated. That's fine. And I love going to Target.
Same here. Yeah.
But It's going to make some changes with a few things. Like I know now, like Target is probably, and being a collector, right? I know this probably sounds like insignificant, right? But this is something that honestly I've thought about. I was like, man, there are certain things that come out that are only at Target.
Yes,
I can't get those things.
Yeah, and I'm a little bit of a collector too. So there are some things on those boxes that say only available at Target.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly.
It is what it is. Go ahead, Nick.
Like you said, collectors, and I like a lot. I wear t-shirts and stuff. And Target has a bunch going on sale, and it's like, oh, the heck! I just and honestly, it wasn't even self-consciously, but like I just like, well, if you're not gonna backtrack and not do certain things, like
it's like I can't mess with you, dog. Like that is kind of like it. Like, but other companies have also done that too. Now, Walmart kind of really didn't shop at Walmart. Like, I would only go to Walmart if I like absolutely needed to. Like in the truest sense of the word, it's like Walmart to me is the Mos Eisley spaceport of like grocery stores. Like you will never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy. Like I can't.
How you really feel about the Walmartians?
I can't
go. Walmartians.
Walmart is just not. Walmart is just not it for me. But I say that in jest, of course. But in comparison, if I had to go between Walmart and Target, like even if Target's out of my way, I will pass a Walmart to go to Target. And now it's like, okay, well, what options? And I think we've kind of already like started to think about, okay, well, you now have to change what your mode of doing things are, or even the sourcing for stuff. Like what's the company that I buy for all my beard wash stuff? Scotch Porter. Scotch Porter is sold in Target. I'm just going to their website now and I'm buying it directly from them.
Yeah, I mean, for some people, it's not really going to be a big deal. For me, it's not going to be a big deal.
Right.
Target was just someplace you went when you were in that area. There was really nothing I went in there for.
Right.
Well, there are people who depend on Target, like they live and breathe Target.
Yeah. or work for them.
Yeah.
Now, you know what? I'll be honest with you though. Like, so this is me thinking about it strategically of how all these things are being executed. I think out of all of the businesses that are kind of in that tier of things, Target is the one that will likely bend because they are not number one. So they can't really, like, if they lose, they can't really like afford it, right? But Walmart, if you hit that one, and I'm thinking about my hometown, right? Like Walmart is the gaming town in Orangeburg, South Carolina. And if you told everybody in the community don't shop at Walmart no more,
it would hurt.
It would hurt. Like in the truest sense of the word, because that, like, there have been, Walmarts get pop up in these more rural areas, and what'll happen is it'll close all the other businesses down, and they're the only place you can get anything. So if you start doing that for Walmart, that's going to be, and I hate to say it, but that's going to be the real test.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Because I'm not saying Target is no slouch, but in comparison, like you don't find you won't find a Target out in not Target. You won't find a Target. Excuse me. Yes, you won't find a Target out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it ain't Walmart. Let's just be real. And I mean, right. you brought about Target already kind of bending. Think about this too. Even just when they already kind of tried to push back on the DEI stuff already. They tried to. So this already shown that they can. And I think Target's a good test subject. I hate to say it like that, but
I would agree. Like I think strategically, this makes a lot of sense for them to be the first one up, because the other two who are like your bigger retailers, you have Amazon and you have Walmart.
Yeah.
Walmart, of course, we already talked about that one. Amazon is, of course, going to be another one because, like I think about like little small stuff that, how you used to be able to buy like USB cables and you would have to go to eBay to get that stuff. Like or Radio Shack for those of you that are from a much earlier time. What? Right. But Amazon has cornered the market and pretty much being able to source anything from anywhere. And that's also yields into that mobility or digital divide element of it, right?
Yeah.
So if these start, but you also saw that Amazon was quick. It's like, oh yeah, we might have taken it out of our corporate stuff, but it is still part of our employee mantra, if you will. Something else I've also kind of gotten, instead of just saying DEI, I would try to go back to saying diversity, equity, and inclusion, because because it kind of seems like it's we're boiling it down to where it's just
turn it into a slang term.
Yes, it's become slang instead of actually stating what it really is. Because if you're saying that you are not for this cause, it's like, well, I don't want diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's like, well, say that.
Yeah.
Don't talk about it, be about it.
Yeah, and you mentioned it earlier, but
hey Brian, Jose, Rich, do something.
Right.
All right, I didn't do that. Go ahead, Brian.
I mean, but you're right. I mean,
you said it earlier, but Amazon and Walmart are next. That's the plan next. To hit Walmart and Amazon.
You guys start small before you go big game hunting.
How? I don't know if people can leave Amazon alone. I don't think they can.
That's gonna be
that's the player in the game.
You could, but all right, but you know what? Here's something, and I'll admit I was probably part of this bump too, because coincidentally my Costco membership expired on December 31st, 2024. That was the last day of it, right? So then when Target started saying that stuff about, they were like, nah, we're not gonna do this stuff no more. Okay, cool. I was like, I think it's time to renew my Costco membership.
Yeah.
I got mine. Oh yeah.
So I mean, or stating because there are certain things where it's you're buying in bulk, but it's really you buy enough that's probably gonna last you twice as long. Not necessarily I ain't going in there and buying 30 mangoes, right? That's just ridiculous.
No, right.
No. But
for paper plates,
a case of beans.
Yeah. Paper plates. I got enough to last me from now. From now to August. I'm good.
I'm very selective of what you buy at Costco, like you said, like that, because trash bags, man, I bought them for there. I'm pretty much good for about 3/4 of a year.
Right.
Trash bags. So yeah,
you're never gonna see me again. I'm good.
Yeah,
but I appreciate. But
Costco has been flooded. Costco has been. What's the word I want to?
Their response is part of it, because they were like, "Oh, okay, we still good over here.
Yeah,
come over here. All
we love black folk. We love black people." Now, even though Black people are number 4 or 5 on the list of people who benefit from DEI or diversity, equity, and inclusion,
right?
It's still in people's minds a Black person's thing.
Right.
Absolutely.
It's always going to be something simplistic to some of these things, just so people can feel better about themselves about not wanting to support it. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
it makes absolute sense.
Yeah. So that's just one of the things. But like I said, Costco's been packed, killing it for the last week or so.
It is. It's just with them being, like you said, I can't speak for everybody, just for myself. It's very selective with Costco, because again, like you said,
you better go ahead. Hey, I don't buy so for me personally, going into Costco, I don't buy unless I know I'm going to use it immediately. I rarely buy chicken, salmon, that sort of stuff. I make sure that I buy. Yeah, that's good, but I buy the frozen packs. I do not buy,
definitely.
Do not buy the fresh one.
Hey, unless you're gonna freeze it.
Unless you're gonna and you're gonna freeze it anyway. So no, let's go knock that out.
Exactly.
On TikTok, Odell says we need to buy Costco stocks.
It's probably too late now.
Yeah, it's probably a little bit too late. You should have jumped on that bus when they started. Right now, that stock probably looking like fucking Tesla stock right now.
Yeah, no.
So Yeah, you should have jumped on that in the beginning.
Hey, we should, yeah. We're I think we're like from any like real boom, we're probably about a good 2 weeks late.
Yeah.
Good idea though.
They said it's not going to get lower. Of course not.
Right.
It's definitely not getting lower.
It's not getting it's not getting any lower. Like they're gonna have to come out and basically be like, you know, their brand, their new brand spokesperson is gonna be Elon Musk. Like that'd be the only way.
Yeah, that'd be the only way.
Like, yeah.
Fuck you, niggas.
Right.
So they just kind of bust out.
Right.
Costco. Fuck you, niggas.
Right.
That's exactly what what they got to do.
Yeah, it's got to be something crazy. Yeah, that won't happen now.
So this whole commerce thing is just kind of topsy-turvy right now. We heard about Canada getting rid of all of their whiskey from red states. So all day you've been seeing videos of them packing up whiskey and getting rid of it and sending it wherever. I don't know where they're sending it. They already paid for it to be there.
Right.
So why not keep it on the shelf and sell it and just not accept any new shit?
To make a point.
Yeah.
It's just to make a point. Like
we already bought it and now we still don't want to sell it. We don't want to give it away.
Yeah, it's to make a point. That's all that is.
It's a middle finger.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of it's awesome to see that happen that way.
Yeah.
I don't know if we would ever do something like that. Like unless it was I don't know if culturally we are that together to pull together for something like that.
We're not.
No,
we're not. Unfortunately, you know, I love this country and I love us and I love the people here, but we're not there.
Right. Not yet.
Yeah,
anyway.
we're not there.
I don't know, man. Like, you know, give it a couple months. Like once these folks start realizing, like, wait a minute, they took my job. Like once they start realizing that, it's like it wasn't those people that took your job.
Nope.
Yeah. So like once we start getting to a point where people start realizing the commonality and how the situation really is going down, I think we'll start to probably see some of that. It's gonna play out like what was it? The Black Jeopardy episode where Tom Hanks was on it when he started realizing that we like the same things.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think that's how this is going to wind up going.
It's
gonna take a while.
It's gonna take a little minute. Be pushback with people saying, no, there's no way in hell I got anything in common with these people.
Right.
There's always going to be that part of the population that just feels like they don't want to connect with anybody else other than who they recognize or who they're familiar with. Sad part.
Mm-hmm.
So this whole trade wars thing, they're calling it a trade war, which it probably is.
That's pretty much what it is.
Now he backtracked. He did say,
and he's going to keep backtracking. But go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, he did. He backtracked. He did say that he was going to hold off on the trade, the 25%. What is it called? Tariffs until like April 2nd or something like that. Like I'm going to push it back a month or whatever. Because you're doing things without thinking, and then when it bites you in the ass, it's like, how can I roll this back?
He wasn't thinking.
That's
I mean, no, you know what? Let me not say that. No. I think he was.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think he thought. I think one of the great myths that we are slowly starting to realize that it is not true, it's just a myth, is American exceptionalism.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think people realize that we really aren't as great as we think we are. And I'm not saying that in a sense that, we're like the worst of the worst, right? But I think we don't look at things as if that there's not an opportunity for improvement.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's getting to the point where it's like, oh, well, you think that you could, like, pretty much you think that you could be the jock in high school and just do whatever you want. And it's like, rest of the world started to look like we don't really. It's not how we play.
No,
we're not doing that.
You've been playing by yourself for so long. You think you're really, really, really good at this game, and you're not.
You were about to have some real competition.
Yeah. And you're right. I think we've been in this bubble for so long, and we're really about to realize how insignificant, or not insignificant, just not as high up in standards.
We are not. Yeah, like we're going to show. It's going to be shown that we are not in as a competitive place as we thought we are.
Yeah.
And I think this administration is going to fast track some of that thought process.
Oh, absolutely.
Because while before I think we kind of lied and told ourselves that, but I think this is the first one that actually is going out here and being like, I am about to test. Like, we are playing right now the test your might game in Mortal Kombat. And you know how like you trying to like tap the buttons, but it's like that little space in between where that red line's sitting.
Yeah.
And we about to punch that diamond, and it's gonna hurt.
Yeah. This is gonna be a painful year for a lot of people.
Well, boy, they went quick when it went from being like we're gonna lower prices on day one to now, hey, I think we need to start. Everybody needs to get a chicken coop.
People, like I said last show, people are literally trying to figure out if they can keep chickens. It's like people that ain't got shit to do with farming, ain't never had nothing to do with agriculture ever in their life, were like, I'm going to raise chickens.
It's like, nah, don't do that. Stop.
Yeah, it's going to happen just for eggs. Just for eggs. Ain't nobody want to kill the chicken. Nobody want to kill the chicken.
Contact your local rep. And just see what happens. Just whatever canned response, and then go to the town halls and do whatever it takes.
There you go. When you said what is doing something, that is doing something. Participating, being a part of the community as far as these town halls and everything is these meetings with your officials. That's doing something.
Right.
When they pass the mic around, stand up and say something.
Right. Don't spout conspiracy theories. Yeah, thank you, Nick.
Because there's gonna be some people. I said say something intelligent.
Yeah.
You said say something.
Yeah.
We need to have a caveat because I hate to say that, but we can't trust certain people.
Be on message.
Yeah.
Because boy, there are times when people
talk good.
Talk. Yeah. Say stuff and things. Oh boy. Man.
But this, like I said, this is going to be a really, really tough year for a lot of people because every decision they make up there, every decision they make in that house, in that White House, affects everybody outside of it.
I will say that, I'm going to say this, it's like even now with some of the people that I know in different capacities in different organizations, like some of these executive orders, especially the ones that are talking about diversity, equity, inclusion. Like this is real. Like I have actually seen people's programs get cut.
Yeah.
Because straight up, it's like they're like the word equity is mentioned, and it's like, federal funding is being pulled from that just because of that. Like this is not a joke. Like this is actually happening.
Yeah.
And
they're pulling federal funding from so much shit. It's scary.
Right. It honestly is.
Like I think the thing was the other day I read that he was pulling federal funding from colleges who allow students to protest.
They said, what did they say? Illegal protest? But I'm like,
illegal protest, but what's a legal protest?
How do you define right?
Yeah.
Like, how do you define
exactly.
that?
Yeah. I mean, you're not just waiting for something to happen and going to get your flag, the paper stamped by the office and then doing a protest. Some things are just on site.
Yeah.
Some things have to be done right then.
And then the other thing is like they have the protest. Like, how can you say? I mean, if it's illegal, how do you holding them responsible for it? I mean, unless they just let it just kind of run for the course of like 12 hours.
Yeah.
You know,
that is the violation. That is still a violation of the First Amendment.
First Amendment right, yeah.
First Amendment right, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't matter because they don't have to do these things to check themselves or anything anymore. It's just we say it and it goes.
But I think that's what's kind of crazy about all of this, right? Is that, and you know, I'm sure you gentlemen know this, but anyone who has taken a lesson in, I don't know, 5th grade, 6th grade,
yeah,
you know, in terms of like civics, right? The executive branch, the legislative branch, which is the House and Senate, and the Supreme Court of the United States, or the judicial department, federal judicial courts, those are separate and co-equal branches of government. So I do not understand why, like, if these things are hurting these people's constituents, and we can see that, again, co-equal branches, what are we doing? You know, I will say this. I gotta give the Supreme Court credit, because, you know, I forgot what that last ruling that was. Was about the U.S. aid being distributed, like the $2 billion that was supposed to be still going out.
Yeah,
the Supreme Court was like, nope. 5-4. Those funds are appropriated. Those gotta go out. You cannot stop that. Again, separate and co-equal branches of government. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't, and we're not supposed to. And this is U.S. is what, 248 years old right now,
something like that.
248, 249. And this is usually, I think I saw somebody, usually civilizations last around 250 years, and then something happens and they crumble.
Well, it's the, what is it called? It's the balance of not balance of power, but you go from, like, basically being, you know, you have one global superpower to 2, then usually to like 4. So I think I did this before. I think that's where this is going. It's going from, like, where we were the superpower to now it's going to be split, and you're going to have multiples, you know, multiple superpowers. And then, you know, at some point it'll kind of reconsolidate back to being one again, you know, 1,000 years from now, maybe, but still.
All right, Shan Renee Sutton says, let's see here. Says the fallacy is in the supposed equality. There's way more power in execution, the executive branch, when discussing anything.
I mean, that might be true in practice, but the reality is that in the Constitution of the United States, there are 3 separate and co-equal branches of government. That is the reality of it. I'm not necessarily disagreeing with the statement, but you know, the difference though is that you have one person in charge of the executive, and you have hundreds, in the true sense of the word, in the House and the Senate. So getting all of them to galvanize together to basically push somebody out is going to be a difficult task.
Yeah,
especially now that you have a whole bunch of money backing this other person that could usher up someone to challenge you in your primary.
I did see the Representative Al Green was saying that he was starting his process of impeachment with Trump now.
I mean, the man's been impeached twice.
Two
already.
Times. 2 times.
I'm not saying don't do that. I'm not saying don't.
He's always been impeached so many times as his companies went bankrupt. But
I think he's had more bankruptcies than impeachments.
He's got 6. He's got
I said almost. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah, I'm not saying don't, but let's just be honest. We have the first convicted felon as a president, and he's been impeached twice. Yeah. What do you like? What, I'm not saying don't, but let's manage our expectations here. And like, because I mean, let's just be honest. If he's been impeached, and you're talking about trying to go for a third time, like
yes.
And then if you go for this third round, right?
Mm-hmm.
What does it take to actually have him removed from office? Because that is the goal. Like you should be trying, like you shouldn't just be throwing this out here like it's candy, right? It needs to be like, oh, you setting him up for this to try to get him out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what you're going for here.
Yeah,
like I get,
and that whole thing is a process that's still probably going to take another 2 years.
Maybe
you want this over now.
Right.
You want this done now. And you want things put back to relative normalcy. I'm not posting that. I'm not posting that. But I got you.
Okay. Yeah.
I got you, but I'm not posting it.
No.
Yeah.
Oh no.
But like I said, you want it done now.
Right.
And you want everything to go back to normalcy, to whatever normal is, idealistically. So this impeachment thing, this whole impeachment process is just going to take entirely too long. By the time that happens, 4 years will be passed. 4 years will pass. And he'll be done ruining. He said CNN said it a bunch of times. You ain't got to post it. I got you.
But CNN been canceling shows, so.
But
that's not.
What's CNN canceling?
Joy Reid got canceled.
Oh yeah.
And that's MSNBC. Remember? That's it.
Oh, you're okay. My bad. Never mind. You're right.
Oh yeah, because old girl was talking about how they're getting rid of the black people on this.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I
don't get it. What the hatred is for black folk in this country. I can't put my arms around it.
Black don't cry.
Again, this is back to what we said before. This is a socioeconomic argument that happened to be binded to pigmentation of your skin.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Like it's like we're gonna look back on all of this stuff, right? And how these moves have been made, and it's all going to be like Barack Obama got elected, and then people lost their damn mind.
Lost their fucking mind.
Hey, that's the truth with that.
Lost their mind.
And I mean, and again, I'm not saying, but it's like the bias started to show up. I'm not saying this is for everybody, right? But by no means. But bias started to show up, and it's like, wait a minute, you can do what I can do, and it was only supposed to be for me. Now I have to share. Oh no. Y'all flew too close to the damn sun. No. Time to get these wings melting.
You're right though. Yep.
You are getting rid of the bootstraps.
By taking away the damn shoes.
Yeah. But we're heading in a direction that's pretty scary. Let's say as far as right now, nothing is angering anybody.
All right. And y'all, neither one of you have seen the show Andor, right?
I've watched like
some of Andor. Yeah, I watched
2 episodes. I gotta go back and.
All right, and I think I posted this in a group chat, but there was like this one character called I forgot his first name, but Nemec was his last name, and he's talking to Cassian Andor, and just basically talking about how like the machine, the Empire, like does things, right? And this is the way that this entire thing went. He's talking to him and he says, "It's so confusing, isn't it? So much going wrong, so much to say, and all of it happening so quickly. The pace of repression outstrips our ability to understand it. And that is the real trick of the Imperial thought machine. It is easier to hide behind 40 atrocities than a single incident, but they have a fight on their hands, don't they?"
Makes sense. Shit.
We got so much.
That's why when people start arguing about the politics in movies, when they politics, Star Wars is a political series. Like,
I don't know,
everything about Star Wars is politics. That's all the thing is. That's all it is. It's politics.
If you didn't catch, that's the thing. If you didn't catch the imagery back in 1977, Darth Vader's helmet is basically like right out of Nazi Germany.
Yeah,
like the entire ethos of that whole franchise is based around a rebellion against an imperial machine. Like George Lucas said himself, and this is the thing that people don't want to come to realization, is that was his allegory for the Vietnam War. Who is the Empire?
Wow. Yeah.
And like, say what you will about the prequels, right? But like, remember when everybody was talking about, damn, why we talk about like trade wars and shit? I want to see that. I want to see lightsabers. George Lucas is probably in his bed right now laughing. Like, I told y'all about this shit 30 years ago.
I made a goddamn movie about it, and you didn't listen.
Right.
None of you listened.
No. That's the thing, man. It's like people talk about that franchise like it. Yeah, sure. You could say it is a story for children, right? And that's his other statement, right? But the themes that are behind it certainly are there. It's just that no one wants to like. How do I want to say it? There is art and subtlety. Don't get me wrong, and I think that sometimes some political messaging is a little overbearing. It can be that way, but a lot of it is like it's subtle but very direct. Like if you just pay attention for like longer than like a lightsaber igniting, you pretty much should be able to get it.
Yeah, this is what's happening now. What the fuck?
By the way, Andor is probably, I will honestly probably have to say Andor I think is the best. I keep thinking about, I used to be, and I'm that guy, right? Like, I thought The Last Jedi was great, but I'm going to say I think Andor is the best thing that Disney has probably put out for Star Wars. Easily. And there's not a single Jedi in that show.
You didn't like Skeleton Crew?
It was good, but it ain't on Andor. Like, it's not. Like, I mean, it's good. But I say like Andor is the best thing that they put out. Like,
yeah, well, art imitates life, and sometimes that's just an attraction to it.
Hey man, there's this one speech by this character called Luthen.
What up, Rob?
He talks about his sacrifice. Man, I felt that shit in my bones.
Did I watch all of Andor? I'm trying to figure out if I did. I know I didn't watch Ahsoka.
I was like, Oscar, what?
That's a wrestler.
Yeah, she ain't back yet. She ain't back yet, Brian.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, okay. So Nick know who I'm talking about. No. I don't think I finished
and
Ahsoka.
It's okay. And by the way, if you're talking about Ahsoka, you don't have to watch that one. It's fine. You're good. Yeah, I was not a fan of that one.
But girl, what's her name? She's so fine.
Rosario Dawson.
Anne.
She's so fine. Okay. I mean, think about it. Like there are easier ways to consume content that take far less time than me spending 6 to 8 hours watching a television show.
You're correct.
Yeah,
you are correct. Yeah,
totally good on that one, man. Yeah.
But like you said, it's what's happening now. It is exactly what's happening now, and
I'm waiting for season 2. Season 2 comes out next month.
Yeah,
that's gonna be great.
What's going on, David? Look at everybody coming in now. What's going on, Rob? What's going on, David? But yeah, I don't know, man. Is like I said, this whole thing right now is, I won't even say it's scary. It's kind of interesting to see what's going to happen next. You can't help but be tuned in.
This has never happened before.
Exactly. And I'm so sick of being part of history.
Right.
Like I don't want to like be part of the where were you when this happened type shit no more. This is dumb. It's dumb.
It's like it's like every time there's somebody referencing some point in the last like 40 years of like I was there when the scrolls were written. It's like shit. Like I'm tired of having that answer.
Yes. We are going to be pulled in a few years. We're going to be pulled to the side for interviews about the shit that was happening when we were alive and virile and young and aware. Right. Where were you in 9/11? I was in college. So automatically I was already a fucking adult when the dumb shit started happening.
Right.
And I actually think it all started with OJ.
Like pivotal moments that happened.
In our lifetime.
So he had OJ, Oklahoma City bombing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean,
Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sandy Hook.
Mm-hmm.
Columbine. Like, and this, yeah, like, dude. like, man. I mean, it's like,
and even before then, it was Hugo.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like that's technically the first big thing to happen in our lifetime.
Yeah, Hugo probably would be. Yeah, not thinking about it because I remember not having power for like a week.
Either almost. That or the spaceship exploding.
Let's see. I don't remember that one.
You talking about the Challenger, right?
The Challenger exploding. Yeah.
Wait, the Challenger was 85, wasn't it?
Somewhere around it. Yeah, I think it was 85.
I mean, unless you're Sosa, you don't remember that.
You stupid.
I'm sorry.
Challenger explosion.
Says what we do now. Tell us what we would have done during the civil rights movement. Huh?
That's 86.
Challenger was 86.
Yeah. Challenger was 86.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember that one.
Yeah.
I remember Columbia though.
What happened in Columbia? What?
No, that was the Shuttle Columbia.
Oh, yes. Yeah. So all this shit started happening within the last 30, 35 years.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like we were here. We were around like looking at this shit happen.
These are unfortunately new frontiers in many cases that we just happen to be alive for. Yeah. I mean, like the invention of social media, like nothing like that existed. I mean, you had MySpace, and
that's the invention of social media isn't even that fucking old.
No, it's not.
No, I mean, I got my first cell phone in 2003, and that's when College Club and all that shit was around.
College Club,
Black Planet,
College Club, yeah,
MySpace,
yes. So that's when all that started.
Wait, all right, you said like, all right. I'm gonna ask a question. All right, then. So you said your first cell phone
had to be 2003. What was your first? I believe.
What was your first cell phone?
It was a Nokia.
No, yeah, with the replaceable face plates, and then
the Nokia 3390.
It probably was a candy bar. It was a bar phone. I know that. I don't know if it was a 3390, and it had the antenna you pulled up.
Oh no!
I got this, Brian. I had to do it.
Oh fuck!
Drake is like, ooh, dang.
Really? Yeah, I had the antenna you pulled up, and it was like heavy as a fucking gun that would sit on your waist and pull your pants.
You could drop that phone from 2 stories,
and it will be fine. The Razor is actually one of the most durable phones that has ever been created. Has to be.
Really?
I think so. Like that phone could be dropped, run over, dropped in the ocean, and it would just be fine. It would be fine.
All right. Who was your cell phone provider, though?
Oh, shit. My provider.
I remember who mine was.
Same here. It ain't ever changed for me.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know who my first provider was. I know it was one that doesn't exist anymore.
Mine was Singular.
Ooh, that might have been mine. That might have been.
I've had Verizon the whole time.
Yeah.
Really?
Uh-huh. So eventually I went over to Verizon.
Somebody called the house.
I think it was my parents' phone first. Like it was my phone. And then when I got over to Verizon, I've had the same number since 2000. I think about the same time, Brian. I think 2003. Yeah.
Well, somebody called my house for my stepdad.
Uh-huh.
They said, "Hey, we got a phone for so and so. Is he home?" I was like, "No." He said, "Would you like a phone?" Sure. And they sent me a fucking phone. I don't even know if I ever paid a bill on that bitch, but they sent me a phone.
Somebody paid for it.
Somebody paid for it.
Ooh, boy.
But we've watched these things grow and become what they are now. And we've been a part of everything. We've been a part of the whole video game boom, the game wars, system wars, or whatever you want to call them.
And now they're saying that's pretty much about to die in and of itself too.
Yeah. Who's left? Who's gonna be left? PlayStation?
So like here's
Nintendo
the I
ain't
think
going away.
No, Nintendo's not. Nintendo's gonna be around. Sony's probably gonna be around. Microsoft is going to pretty much continue gaming as a service. Like I doubt they're going to get out of the console game. I think
they're not. Yeah, they're not going to have their own thing. They're going to just put their shit on other systems.
They're about to get what's the name of that game? Forza 5 is about to be put on the PlayStation 5, and it's like sold out.
Microsoft has never really been a forefront runner in anything.
Well, they Halo first person shooters, like for the first Xbox, that's probably that was the prime. And then when Xbox Live launched, it's kind of about it.
Yeah. But didn't they have phones too?
No, they had an MP3 player that did not last.
Oh, yeah, the Zoom.
Oh, the Zoom. I remember the Zoom. I do remember the Zoom. The Zoom died a horrible death.
Yes.
That was a horrible fucking phone. Like, I worked in the phone company when...
No, they made it. No, they made this. They did make I think it was a Zoom phone or a Windows phone. One of the two.
It was a Zoom phone. It was a Zoom. It was called a Zoom.
The phone.
Oh, wow.
Well,
it was a phone. It was a little teeny bar phone, and it folded.
Wow.
Yeah, I worked. I was working in the phone company when the BlackBerry storms dropped, and that was the big smartphone boom. Let me see. Hold on. Let me look and see.
I'm looking too,
because I know the Zune was a thing.
Yeah, I actually had a Zune too.
I had. Let's see here.
Yeah, Zune was a phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was. Because that's when he tried to compete with Apple.
Yeah.
Tried.
So yeah,
Hold on.
This is
I did for Rich. Apple gang, baby.
So yeah, like I said, we sat here and we watched all these things happen because the BlackBerry storm was like pretty much the first smartphone. I'm gonna give them that. Then Apple was committed to what was the company Apple was committed to?
AT&T.
AT&T. Yeah, it was committed to AT&T. Then they started doing all these touchscreen phones like the Dare and the Voyager and all this stuff, and then they started putting internet on phones. And I had the Dare, and that was a touchscreen dumb phone.
The first internet capable phone that I had was the first Motorola Droid.
Yeah,
I had the Droid. I had the Motorola Droid. I did have that.
Yeah. Motorola A855.
Because I was going to get a BlackBerry, but the person's like at the store, you're in law school, right? You're gonna want this. Please.
David says my first computer was a Commodore that you had to input programs. Syntax errors.
Hey man, we all got to start somewhere.
We got to start somewhere.
He was there, literally when the scrolls were written.
I remember the whole computer thing. We had computer classes, and we had the big black floppy disk we had to put into the computers, and it was
oh gosh, Oregon
Trail, and Pause that taught you how to type,
and number munchers if you ever played that.
And again, like you go back and think about, man, like from games in like 2005, like we can't get any better than this. Like dudes running on hands look like this.
Yes, yes. Before that, I remember watching people play Pit Fighters. Like, oh, this is amazing. Like real fucking people.
You go back and look at that. It's like, why is this dude so pointy?
Tomb Raider came out. Oh my god, that looks like a real woman.
Ooh, wow. I mean, yeah. Oh, gosh. Yes,
we have come a long way.
A very long way. Very long way. And I kind of think we rushed a few things.
Like
AI.
Allen Iverson? No. I think you're rich. I couldn't resist. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I don't know. I think some things could have been handled with a little bit more finesse than the whole money grab. Let's get it out before everybody else does.
But that's the money grab part.
I know.
Yeah.
Like that's like if you like in the world of computing. Well, I can't say that because for some reason Apple found a way not to do this. But it's basically Talladega Nights. If you're not first, you're last.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
Apple gang. the Apple gang right here.
Somehow they figured out how to be like, oh, like how is it that you release a 4G phone like 8 years after everybody else and have like you the ones who invented it? Like what kind of shit is this?
Apple gang.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember every time a new phone popped out, there was a new G.
I mean, you didn't start getting G's until you got to 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
God. We lived through it.
And no one really understands what the G really means.
Nobody knows what that shit means. It just means, I guess it means my phone's supposed to be faster. I don't know. Is that what it means?
I mean,
it's have the 6 Gs now.
See, they can't even get 5G right though.
Yeah, they're still trying to do that. Mm-hmm. Anybody got any shotgun topics? Anything you want to get off their chest before we get up out of here?
Brian, just for a quick thought. So not to alienate too many people, but John Cena turning heel. What'd you think?
Too much, too late.
I guess Rich couldn't see it.
I'm gonna let you have that one.
Yeah.
You think too much? I mean, I don't know, man. Because I mean,
I don't think anybody really cares anymore. To be honest with you,
like,
I care. I care because we're 20, 25 years invested in John Cena's career.
You saw the kids crying. Those kids crying. Oh, they cared.
Oh,
They cared. This is the guy that has the Guinness Book of World Records for most Make-A-Wish things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they care. This is a big deal.
He's like, oh man, that's so bad.
Interesting. They're trying to get people to watch WrestleMania because they really don't have anything to put base WrestleMania on this year, and it'll get people watching. It's got people invested again.
Oh yeah.
And there's one thing I will say about WWE: they do know how to reinvent themselves.
I'd agree. I mean, I think it had to happen before he retired, so I'm glad to see him doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I wish he would have been doing it when he could be more active, like being on TV.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I mean,
they don't have a lot of shows before there.
Yeah, but for the short term, I'm for it. I mean, I don't think it's something you need to do long term because again, this is a guy that again, there's videos of kids crying because of this.
Yeah.
So
his dad even was like, I'm sick of y'all asking me about it. Ask him.
but I'm not gonna do the joke again. But yeah.
But I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's the WrestleMania of heels. Even old girl, Jade turned heel.
I know, but
and they Bianca with her.
But they ain't the same thing.
Yeah.
But she kicked Naomi. That was great. Naomi's ass. That was great.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But
so WrestleMania is when, April?
Yeah. Like mid-April.
Somewhere around there, yeah. So if you're gonna watch WrestleMania, eye out. Shit's might be pretty cool. I don't know. What, Rich?
I didn't say anything. It's like, oh, okay. I'm glad y'all enjoy this.
You know what?
Everybody needs a thing, man. Everybody needs a thing.
Hey man, I'm not knocking it. It's like, hey, it is fine television.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fine, like watching Insecure.
I'm gonna finish it.
Brian, go see Captain America before he sees Insecure.
That's a fact.
I'm gonna finish it eventually.
I'll be on my deathbed. My dying wish be, Brian, please watch Insecure.
What if? Oh, because it's still on Netflix, right?
I think it's on. Is it Netflix? Is on?
Yeah.
Brian,
So it's
Brian.
HBO. It was on Max. Well, not was on. It's still on Max, but Netflix got the rights to it, and that's honestly how I finished it up. Is I finished it on Netflix.
I got other shows that I'm watching right now. Like I gotta finish.
But
I
Brian,
gotta finish.
Thank you.
I gotta finish Reacher.
Brian,
I gotta finish Invincible.
When did you start watching Insecure and what?
I know you started before you started watching Invincible.
Yeah, I did.
That's what
We've been talking about this recap. We've been talking about this recap since 2021.
the gift that
I am going to finish Insecure.
We know, but the question is, will you watch it before Captain America 7 comes out?
Bourbon Club 2077 is going to be established.
God damn it.
Okay, Brian. Will you watch Insecure before you throw away your Thanksgiving dinner food leftovers?
That shit's gone.
Okay.
I'm going to watch it. I will.
Okay.
Right. Anyway. Thank you, everybody, to everybody that came in and sat here and kept us company and allowed us to keep you company. That is what the show is about. We will be back next Thursday with more topics, more things to talk about. We hope you guys enjoy your week and enjoy everything that you have coming to you. And until then, we're going to holler at you. Rich, sing a song.